Helen here with Eyes on the Game. I'm here in Atlanta for the Super Bowl week, but I'm being joined by the legend himself, Mr. Diamond Dallas Page, also known as DDP, founder of DDP Yoga. First off, what brings you here to Atlanta?
Well, we just signed, actually got it, Bart Oates, who's the president of the NFL Alumni. He sent out a press release like 2 days ago that DDP Yoga is now partnering with the NFL Alumni, which is super cool for me because I've helped so many of my wrestling buddies and like guys who are really beat up and guys who are like in the game, like killing it. The guys who are really up and going and killing it day to day, it's helping them with preventative maintenance. And the guys who are beat up afterwards, it's helping them get mobility back and strength, because my program is a kick-ass cardiovascular workout that can dramatically increase flexibility, strengthen your core at a different level, but it's minimal joint impact. And that's, of course, what is very attractive to the NFL Alumni.
Yeah. Now, did they reach out, or how did that partnership come about?
A friend of mine named Kent Backler, who has Life Med Institute in Timonium, Maryland, one of the guys who was coming in there was Kyle Richardson, who is the president of the Baltimore Ravens chapter, and he was on the team. He was one of the kickers for them, and he started the program, and he loved it. And then Kent put me and Kyle together, and then we got a hold of Andrew Bolton, who is the guy who is the chapter president down here in Atlanta. And then they got together with Bart Oates, and we sat down and we had a couple meetings and talk about like what we were looking for, and we were really only looking for just affiliation to work with the NFL Alumni, because I know the stories that we can pull out of this that will, once some of the players start to see that, well, then they're going to say, okay, this really works. And again, they're used to weightlifting and running, well, they can't lift weights anywhere near what they used to, and it probably beats up their body on top of that. And the running, that's not happening anymore. So how do you get that mobility back? How do you get that cardiovascular workout? Well, that's what DDPY is all about.
Now, I did hear or read this morning that you want to make people superhuman, right? Someone said that?
It was actually on Fox News. I was up there. I have a new book out called Positively Unstoppable, The Art of Owning It. And when I was sitting down talking to them, that's part of what they got out of it. And like, if you look at me, I'm 2 months from 63, and I'm still a Ferrari, but I got 998,000 miles on me. And so I know that what I'm doing is kind of like the fountain of youth. It's a piece of yoga, it's a piece of rehabilitation techniques, old school calisthenics, and something I call dynamic resistance, which is just like flexing and engaging as you're moving. So you're not just reaching your arms to the heavens so the universe smiles back at you. You're flexing and engaging as you're moving. And what I figured out is every time you flex or engage another muscle, your heart has to beat faster to get the blood to the muscle. That's how I get such a kick-ass cardiovascular workout as part of the program, because we're doing the same thing you would do if you were running, but you're standing still and you're engaging as you're moving. And I don't really have, if I was taking you through it, you'd get it. You just got to trust me that it really, what makes it different than yoga, we're not just stretching. With DDPY, we're stretching and strengthening the muscles, ligaments, and tendons. So that can make you superhuman to a certain degree.
Now, are there some basic moves that you can show on camera?
Well, what I wish I had, can someone hold that thing for you? Because
I would do it with you?
I'll tell you, let's put it like this. You see, the camera thing is pretty low. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do it with your hands like that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what you're trying to do is open these fingers as wide as you can. Okay. Reach out and grab the ball. Open your fingers as wide as you can. See how everything got tight there? Wider. Yeah. Open wider.
Okay.
Wider. So you can do it. You're not doing there.
Oh, okay.
So everything gets tight all the way through.
Yeah,
now I want you to create your own resistance as you reach up and touch down. Reach longer, reach higher. Take your arms here, higher. Good. Now bring your arms out to a T. Now come right down to the diamond cutter. I want you to push. Push your thumb and index fingers against each other. So take your thumbs here and your fingers there. Push tight. Now inhale, take it back. Bring your arms back as far as you feel comfortable. Bring your arms out to a T, clench your fists. Hulk it up, darling. Tight, 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 tight. Stay with me. Now open your fingers wide. Tension, throw it back. And ease.
Oh, wow. That was a workout.
It is, because you can feel you're already starting to perspire a little bit. Every time you flex or engage a muscle, your heart has to beat faster to get the blood to the muscle. So I get you into a lunge, but you don't have to do this, but I get you into a lunge and I've got you pulling just like you're lifting weights with your back. And then it's like a negative rep when you're pulling out. So I also can have you drop and lower your knee as you're doing stuff. So these are all slow movements where you're engaging the muscles. So as you start to get into stretches, you'll start to break up the scar tissue. Your heart rate's just going to keep going up like this. And with my DDP Yoga Now app, I put a Bluetooth heart monitor, goes right to the app, which goes right to your TV.
Very convenient. But what inspired you to create it?
Well, it was necessity. I'm a guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga the first 42 years of my life. It's just true. I didn't start wrestling until I was 35. My career took off when I was 40. That was in 1996. 1997 and 98, I was on top of the world. Headlined 13 out of 24 main event pay-per-views. Then I blew my back out. What I did is I ruptured my L4 and L5 so badly that I couldn't, like my flexibility, it was like, let's see if I can see it, like here, like that. And I would have to push myself up. Today, my flexibility cold, and I'm going to move back here so you can see it in that camera. This is my flexibility cold.
Wow, that's really good.
Core strength's a whole different animal. I'm going to put you over here for 1 second.
Okay.
Keep going, keep going. There you go.
Okay.
I can take either one of these feet with a tight pair of jeans on. This is core strength at a different level. And take it and pull it over my head and have a conversation with you. This is core strength at a different level at 6'3", 230 pounds, and 2 months from 63 years young. So that's what DDP yoga is. It's about strengthening your body at a different level, but very slowly. Like my workouts, literally, like you can't get out of bed. I got 3 workouts for you. Start in bed. Then help you get in a chair. I got 8 workouts in a chair that help you get out of the chair and then use the chair to get up and get down and create flexibility and strength and balance.
Yeah, I mean, just like that, the hand thing you were showing me, that was a workout. It felt like a workout, at least to me.
Well, it can
but I'm kind of out of shape. So I do know that your story and everything, on the Joe Rogan podcast, it did very well. And I mentioned this a bit to you off camera that it made him cry, right?
Yeah, it was Joe he's a real guy, he's like the new Howard Stern. I mean, he's the voice of this generation, and mainly it's because he's so real. Like he's not afraid to say something, but he's super positive. He's like we are so like-minded. I had an awesome time with him, and then he brought my buddy Jake the Snake Roberts on his show. And that was another great show. I listen to him all the time because he's fun to listen to, and he really knows a lot about everything.
Everything, yeah.
But he works at it. It just doesn't happen,
Yeah. And lastly, what would you like to tell, pro wrestling fans or fans of yours that maybe, want to get involved with DDP yoga?
Well, I just wrote a new book called Positively Unstoppable: The Art of Owning It, and I try to explain to people as important as my workout is, as important as my eating plan is, it's 10% of the equation. The 90%'s right here, that 6-inch piece of real estate between your ears. Like once you start to own, like I say, owning it, the art of owning it. Once you start to own it, and I'm talking about that story you tell yourself, well, then anything is possible. Because really nobody has to believe in you but you.
Exactly.
That is so important, and I teach it throughout the book. And Positively Unstoppable is more like a workbook, that will help you own it. And then anything is possible, and anybody wants to see what we're doing, just go to ddpyoga.com. It's all there.